The websites of more than a dozen US airports were inaccessible after they were targeted by Russian-speaking hackers. Around 14 public websites for a number of airports, including LaGuardia Airport in New York City, were targeted. According to reports, most have since been brought back online. According to a senior official, air travel was not affected by the incident, but the interruption caused a problem for travellers attempting to access information. Reports attribute the hack to a group known as Killnet, Russian hackers who support the Kremlin. The group favours distributed denial of service attacks, which work by flooding computer servers with traffic to make them non-functional. Targeted airports also included Chicago's O'Hare International Airport and Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. The Los Angeles International Airport website also appeared to be affected by the cyber attack. The authorities are monitoring the issue and assessing affected airports. Well, for more on this, we can go to Susan Tirani, our correspondent live in New York City. Susan, what more do we know about this group and what happened during this attack?
So, Nick, officials first learned about the issue at around 3 a.m. Eastern Time on Monday when Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency received word at New York's LaGuardia Airport that the system had been hit. According to U.S. officials, as you mentioned, it wasn't really air traffic or anything at the airport that was affected, but it was mostly customers that would go online and they would be frustrated that they wouldn't be able to make reservations or go and try to check their status and whatnot. So nuisances like that had been affected for a number of airports. As of now, we don't know whether or not if the Kremlin was directly affected or not, but we do know that the FBI is working with cybersecurity officials to get to the heart of the matter. You know, what's interesting is Chuck Schumer made statements immediately after hearing word of this, and he connected it, although there is no official connection right now, to that blast of a bridge in Ukraine, and said that when we see what's happening, you know, in that part of the world and disruptions over there, it's no surprise that we see something like this on the part of Russia happening here as well. So that's the first word that we're hearing from a high-ranking U.S. official. Again, there is no certainty that the Kremlin was involved, although this group is very closely knit and tied to the Kremlin, as you mentioned.
And Susan, have things now returned to normal, and what comes next? So are we likely to see any US response coming off the back of this?
So we did hear from a number of U.S. officials. They said that they're monitoring the situation. Right now, for the most part, everything is back to normal, up and going. People are able to log into their flight logs. There was a little bit of a disruption, and you can imagine already how airports are facing a lot of backlogs. As they are. Things are moving normally right now. The United States has not really declared or said whether or not, you know, what next moves they're going to take, but they are looking into why something like this occurred and how they can prevent something like this from happening again. Yeah.
Susan, thank you. That was Susan Tirani joining us live from New York City.